Hi, Mermaid Junkies. How are you? I wanted to talk to you about something that's been on my mind the past several months, and that is unconditional love. And so I wanted to talk about exactly what I feel like one of the determining factors of recognizing what unconditional love is for someone as well as for yourself, and what are some of the signs that you may think that you love someone unconditionally, but unless you have all of these other particular things in place, you really don't. And so I heard this analogy the other day, and it really made me think about really understanding what that was. And basically it was this whole analogy of taking the person that, it could be your significant other, it could be your lover, fiance, marriage partner. And if you were to take that particular person and put them in a time capsule, like pretend that today, in this very moment, if you were to have that person put in a time capsule and that you could freeze them, would you freeze them knowing and loving them, knowing that there was never a possibility of that person changing anything about them? You can't, say, I would love this person so much if they didn't have this little quirk about them, or if they would just do this, or they would just do that, or they would stop doing this, then I would love them, like they would be perfect, right? And so when I heard that analogy, it really made me think about whether I had loved the people in my life unconditionally, or if I loved them on conditions. And when you love yourself on conditions, you only have that viewpoint of loving other people on conditions. Because if you can't love yourself unconditionally, then you can't love other people unconditionally. And so what I believe a lot of times starts to happen in relationships, and it's just a matter of us being conditioned that way. It's not like, we're not born that way, loving on conditions. It's ingrained in us through our childhood and growing up, through society. But what begins to happen is that you start to realize that it sort of is a selfish thing, because the person that's saying, now I need you to do this. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but I have experienced this along my journey. And that is what has helped me to come to the realization of what conditional and unconditional love really is. And so when I was going through this process for myself, I started to think, you never, when the person's wanting you to do certain things, like stand on your head, you know what I mean? I'm not literally, but like they're wanting to have you do certain things to like become the way that they need you to be in order for you to receive love from them. And so it's like, okay, now stand on your head and do this. And okay, and so that's good for a while, and then there's no more fighting, or there's no whatever. So you adjust yourself and you do what needs to be done so that there's no fighting, or there's no, quarreling in the marriage or whatever. But then what happens is you start to go, okay, well, so now that's not good enough. Well, this is what starts to happen, is that never anything becomes good enough. And it's like, okay, well, now that you've stopped doing that and you're not doing that anymore, now I need you to do this. I need you to change this about you. I don't like that you flirt. I don't like that you do this. I don't like that you, talk to that particular person. Now I need you to stop doing this. And so what begins to happen is you start thinking that you're like this juggling act, and then you have to perform and you have to do all of these things to like try to fit the mold so that you can be loved by this person, and it never freaking works. And so what begins to happen is you start to resent that person, and you start to think, I can never do anything enough. There's never going to be something that you will do that will finally be the catalyst that you're going to get this unconditional love. Because once again, this person that loves you, and it's actually a selfish, and when you don't do those things, this is the other catch, is that when you don't do those things and you start to go, no, I'm not doing those things. If it doesn't feel right to me, I'm not doing those things. And so what starts to happen is they start to flip it onto you, making you seem like you're the selfish one for not wanting to perform so that they can be happy. And so it's like it will drive you mentally insane if you continually try to always please someone else. Because once again, you know, they make it seem like it's a selfish nature because you're not wanting to perform or do the things that they need you to do for them to be happy. But what actually it is they're the selfish ones because they can't love you without conditions. They can't love you and say, I love you no matter what. Like, if you never change anything else about yourself for the rest of your life on this earth, I will love you no matter what. You can never do anything that would ever make me not love you and not care about you and not think you're the most beautiful person in the whole world, because they can't do that for you because they're not doing it for themselves. So it's like asking someone to be something that they cannot be. And they're once again trying to receive their happiness from an external perspective. And that means if you jump the way that I tell you to jump and you do this the way that I tell you to do it, then I will be happy. And then it will be okay. And then everything's going to be hunky-dory. But what I just wanted to explain was what I just explained. Is if you could do that, if you could like use that analogy, like if you needed to freeze someone in a time capsule, and if you can honestly say that if they were the exact way that they were for the rest of their lives and they never changed not one iota about them, that you would love them so much and they would still make your soul beat, you know, that then you love them unconditionally, and that's wonderful and beautiful. I'm so happy for you. But if you cannot, you really have to start to realize that it's important that you have unconditional love for yourself, because the things that you're doing, the person that resonates with your soul, the things that you do that bother this other person or the person that loves you on conditions would never bother someone that loves you from their soul. That's like your, you know, soulmate or unconditional love. That's not based on anything external. It's all based on the intuitive nature of what your soul resides with, and it knows what makes you happiest. And when someone loves you like that, whatever makes you happy makes them super happy too. And so that's where the true sense of unconditional love comes in. And I'm sorry that if you can't see me in these with my hat on, but I have bad hair day. Anyway, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I hope that it will help serve you. And I want you to have unconditional love, and I want you to be happy, and I want you to manifest your soulmate if that's who you desire to manifest. And what your desires are, I want you to have all of your desires. I want all of your dreams to come true. And I hope that you're having a great week. And I am especially grateful for all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Thank you for helping me to go on this journey for myself so that I could discover unconditional love, and in hopes of helping other people discover theirs as well. And as always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao.